Because Jesus is given authority over demons by his Father, he didn't have to pray or ask the Father to heal the demonized man. He simply issued a command to the demons, ordering them to leave. Authority, this is where I'm going with this, is not exercised by praying to God, but rather issuing commands under our authority. So I just want to quickly show people how Jesus dealt with strictly, purely physical infirmities, because a lot of people say, well, I'm going to pray for your healing. Let's see how Jesus dealt with purely physical infirmities. Now, if you go on in Luke 4, we're going to go to Luke 4:38. Jesus left the synagogue and went into the home of Simon. Now, Simon's mother-in-law was suffering from a high fever, and they asked Jesus to help her. If you go on to 39, so he bent over her, and he rebuked the fever, and it left. Did Jesus pray for in this case, did he pray for Simon's mother-in-law? No. Did he say, Father, we rebuke this fever? Was there anything at all here directed to the Father? No, he simply, again, issued a command. So according to the Scriptures, Jesus did very few of the things that we normally do today when we minister to the physically infirm. The Father gave Jesus authority over demons and physical infirmities, so he could issue commands to both. So if you go to Luke 5:12, while Jesus was in one of the towns, a man came along who was covered with leprosy. And when he saw Jesus, he fell to his face onto the ground and begged him, Lord, if you are willing, you can make me clean. Jesus reached out his hand. Notice he didn't start praying and he didn't start doing anything else. He just said, I am willing, be clean. Immediately the leprosy left her. So again, I'm starting to form a pattern here. He's simply issuing the command, be cleaned, fever go, leave. He's issuing these commands. And Matthew 12:9, going on from that place, he went into their synagogues, and there was a man with a shriveled hand. So again, he issues a command, and the hand was instantly healed. Well, that's all really nice, Sheila, what Jesus did, but what does that have to do with us, Sister Sheila, I'm sure you're saying. So let's go back to John 14. It says, Verily, truly, I tell you, whoever believes in me will do the works that I have been doing. Well, what did he do? He preached the gospel. He healed the sick. He cast out demons. He made disciples. He actually didn't pray for the sick. He just issues a command to the infirmity. As in the cases even, demonic affliction, spirits of infirmity. And that's an important distinction, Brother Curtis, and Marcus, because basically we're saying, I'm not saying here you cannot pray for the sick, but I think it's really important to look at what Jesus did and what he commanded us to do. If you go to Luke 9:1 there, he tells us that disciples of Christ, and I think it's probably in my best interest to assume most of your listeners would be disciples of Christ. We have the authority to minister healing to the sick as Jesus did and to cast out devils just as he did. So I want to just point out something that I think is really, really key, and it goes back to what I said about the times we're in and the fact that we can just, even pick up a phone or flip Skype open and issue these commands, because I want to point out this. In Luke 9:6, it says, So they set out and they went from village to village, preaching the gospel and healing people everywhere. Preaching the gospel and healing the sick are a single package, because miraculous healings can open up the heart of the lost to the gospel. It can basically bring the backslidden back to the Lord. So miraculous signs are especially important, especially when we're dealing with reaching the Muslims, the Hindus, the Buddhists, these idol worshippers, and all these adherents of witchcraft who make up really the great majority of the world's population. So did not Jesus command us to make disciples of all nations?